Welcome back for another edition of Tuesday Trivia. I am posting a little late today, but I'm still making it under the 12 a.m. radar moving into Wednesday. So let's get into it. What's up, physical media and trivia fans? Welcome back to Tuesday Trivia. I have 10 more movies for you that I am going to give you synopses for, omitting any identifying names, places, words, so on and so forth, that you are going to try to guess what movie it is that I'm describing. I get these synopses from the Video Hound's Golden Movie Retriever 2021 edition. And every once in a while it doesn't have one and I grab from IMDb, but this week I did not have to do that. I'll tell you the theme about 2 questions in, but I have a mix of difficult and easy questions. If you don't get it from the synopsis, then I will give you the year that it came out. I will give you the top 3 billed cast in reverse order. And this week I did one where I mixed it up a little bit because a couple names became bigger than other names. And then I give you the director, then I give you the answer. I'm also going to give you fun facts about each one of these titles. So 10 titles, a synopsis, year, cast, director, answer, right? So let's get right to it with movie number 1. 5 college students vacationing in the Tennessee mountains take refuge in an abandoned cabin. They find a tape and a book which unwittingly lets them resurrect demons, which transform the students into evil monsters until only blank remains to fight the evil. So the blank is the main character's name that I thought would be too obvious and too much of a giveaway. And I think that Video Hound's Golden Movie Retriever actually put the character and the main actor. So I redacted it. The year is 1981. The cast is Betsy Baker, Ellen Sandweiss, and Bruce Campbell. Hopefully that's a big clue for you. The director is Sam Raimi. Remember, this is 1981. And the answer is The Evil Dead. The Evil Dead. The original Evil Dead, which is a lot more straightforward horror. Evil Dead 2 then was horror comedy, and Army of Darkness was mostly comedy. They are all wonderful, all highly recommended. I love them all. The fun fact that I have for you for this title is that Joel Coen of the Coen brothers fame was the assistant director on this film and collaborated with Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi on a short film that was made from Blood Simple, or a short film that's developed into Blood Simple. One of the two. Number 2, strange, darkly humorous version of the classic Man into Wolf horror tale became a cult hit but never clicked with most American critics. 2 American college students, David and Jack, are backpacking through England when they are viciously attacked by a werewolf one foggy night. Jack is killed, but keeps appearing in progressively decomposed form before the seriously wounded David, warning him of impeding werewolfdom when the moon is full. Jack advises suicide. Seat-jumping horror and gore, highlighted by intensive metamorphosis sequences orchestrated by Rick Baker, are offset by wry humor, though the shifts in tone don't always work. Great moon songs permeate the soundtrack, including Creedence Clearwater Revival's, or CCR's, Bad Moon Rising, and Van Morrison's Moon Dance. That is a very long synopsis. It might be the longest that I've seen in the Video Hound's Golden Movie Retriever, but it's a long one. The year is 1981, again. The cast is Jenny Agutter, Griffin Dunn, and David Naughton. If I pronounced any of those incorrectly, I apologize. I do my best with names and pronunciation. The director is John Landis, and that movie is An American Werewolf in London. American Werewolf in London is a masterpiece of a film. I don't know why critics wouldn't have liked it. It's got great humor and good horror to boot. The fun fact that I have for you for this movie is that legendary effects artist Rick Baker left the production of The Howling to work on this film after apparently or reportedly an argument with John Landis, where John Landis said, you owe me, we talked about this years ago and you said you would do it. But anyway, when he left The Howling, another legendary effects artist took his place on that film, Rob Bottin. So Rob Bottin or Rob Bottin, I'm not really sure how to pronounce it, is probably most famous for doing the special effects on John Carpenter's The Thing, at least in the horror community. Number 3, based on the horrific life and times of serial killer blank, this film has received wide praise for its straightforward and uncompromising look into the minds of madmen. The film follows ex-con blank, or ex-cons, and I took out some stuff, as they set out on mindless murder sprees, one of which they videotape. Extremely disturbing and graphic film. Unwary viewers should be aware of the grisly scenes and use their own discretion when viewing this otherwise genuinely moving film. So I think that's a positive synopsis overall. I forgot to mention the theme. I told you I would tell you after a couple of synopses, but I'll go ahead and tell you. You notice the first two are from 1981. They're not all from 1981, but these are all horror movies from the 80s. So from the 1980s, all of them will be released within that decade. The year of this one is 1986. The cast is Tracy Arnold, Tom Towler, and Michael Rooker. This one's an intense one. Not everybody's seen this one, not even horror fans. The director is John McNaughton. And this movie is Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer is kind of a verite style look at a serial killer, and it is pretty brutal. Very. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is that John McNaughton spent almost a decade on the road with a traveling carnival before making Henry. Apparently he was working with the carnival, but also taking photographs along the way, and got the funding, reportedly only $100,000, to make a low-budget horror film, and he did Henry, which became pretty well respected, at least in horror circles. Movie number 4. A music teacher moves into an old house and discovers that a young boy's ghostly spirit is his housemate. The ghost wants revenge against the being that replaced him upon his death. Scary ghost story with some less than logical leaps of script. So, they didn't love this one, but said it's scary. The year is 1980, which I know technically belongs to the decade of the 70s, but usually is grandfathered in. The cast is John Russell, Trish Vanderveer, and George C. Scott. And the director is Peter Madec. And this movie is The Changeling. The Changeling, from 1980. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is that playwright Russell Hunter co-wrote the film and based much of it on his own accounts of paranormal events at his home in Colorado. Also, this might be a bit of a confession, but I do not believe in ghosts. But I do believe in hauntings. Maybe that's a conversation for another day. But I do believe that people can believe that they are seeing things or experiencing things that are supernormal, paranormal. But I don't believe that those are actually of paranormal origin. That's just my 2 cents on the matter. Movie number 5. Returned from a long mission, a secret agent notices his wife is acting very strangely. She's about to give birth to a manifestation of the evil within her. Gory, hysterical, over-intellectual, and often unintelligible. I made sure to pay attention to the bones rating on this one. If you haven't seen these videos before or you're not familiar with this, the Videohound's Golden Movie Retriever gives bones instead of stars. So you can have up to 4 bones for a masterpiece, right? And then they go down to woof, which is no bones. They gave this one 1 bone, which I have a bit of a bone to pick with because it is a great movie. I loved it. The year is 1981. I didn't realize how many were from 1981 when I was putting this list together. I start with the titles and then I go from there. I don't memorize all the year of release for these movies. The cast is Heinz Bennett, Sam Neill, the late, great, recently passed Sam Neill, and Isabel Adjani. Adjani? I think I'm saying that right. Hopefully I am. The director is Andrzej Zalewski, or Andrzej Zalewski maybe. Trying my best. And this movie is Possession, which is incredible. It is underseen. I think it is not underappreciated. I think those who have seen it probably do appreciate it. But I would also mention that in the synopsis it says he's a secret agent, and I'm pretty sure it does not say that in the movie. I think it's left vague what he does and where he's coming from. The fun fact that I have for you for this one is that Carlo Rambaldi did the creature effects for Possession. He is probably best known for designing E.T., for which he won an Oscar, an Academy Award. He also did the mechanical head for the Alien and Aliens, or Alien, that he also won an Academy Award for special effects. Movie number 6. Black humor cult classic based on blank. Med student blank is determined to make a medical breakthrough by bringing the dead back to life. His experimental green goo is finally successful on a corpse from the med school morgue, but as usual, any resurrected cadaver becomes difficult to control. Difficult if somewhat self-conscious, but there's an unforgettable sex scene involving a lustful severed head and heroine Megan. So, I have a bone to pick with this one as well. This synopsis and its sex scene is problematic, and I will talk a little bit more about that when I get to the fun fact. The year is 1985. The cast is Bruce Abbott, Barbara Crampton, Scream Queen, and Jeffrey Combs. The director is Stuart Gordon. And this movie is Reanimator. Great, gory, splatter classic. It's very good. Now the problem with the synopsis is where they say an unforgettable sex scene. That is a sexual assault scene. So the fun fact that I have for you is that in the DVD commentary, the cast mentions that David Gale, who played Dr. Hill, his wife left him shortly after this film was released, and they suggest that Gale's character's sexual assault was a factor. In fact, reportedly, when she saw that scene for the first time, she said, "David, how could you?" So, yikes. Not that I think being an actor and portraying sexual assault is the same thing, but apparently There must have had some rockiness in their relationship already. Movie number 7. Southwestern farm boy Caleb is attracted to the pretty May and falls in unwillingly with a family of thirsty outlaw fringe vampires who roam the West in a van. The first mainstream effort by this director, and a rollicking, blood-saturated slaughterhouse of a movie with enough laughs and stunning imagery to revive the genre. Ooh, nice. The year is 1987. The cast is Adrian Pasdar, Bill Paxton, and Lance Henriksen. Lance Henriksen is a Scream King. He's in a lot of horror movies, and he's great in a lot of them. And he's in some that aren't so great, but he's in a lot. The director is Kathryn Bigelow. Yes, Kathryn Bigelow of Zero Dark 30 fame, I believe. The movie is Near Dark. It is incredible. It's so good. It's so well done. And the fun fact that I have for you is that James Cameron suggested the cast to Kathryn Bigelow because they had just come off of Aliens, and she was looking for a tight-knit group that could have an easy camaraderie with each other. If you've been watching these videos, you might recognize that fun fact because I recycled it from my fun fact for Aliens. I just flipped it around. Movie number 8. A semi-serious science fiction spoof about a drifter who discovers an alien conspiracy. They're taking over the country under the guise of Reaganism, capitalism, and yuppiedom. Screenplay written under a pseudonym. It starts out fun, deteriorates into cliches and bad special effects makeup. Eesh, yikes. I love this movie, so apparently they didn't. The year is 1988. The cast is Meg Foster, Keith David, and Roddy Piper. Did you get it? The director is John Carpenter, and this movie is They Live. They Live. This is an excellent movie, and it has a very iconic line from Roddy Piper, and that's my fun fact for you, is that the famous bubblegum line was recycled from Rowdy Piper's wrestling days, and he made the same claim going into a match with Playboy Buddy Rose. I did watch WWF back when it was WWF a little bit, but I didn't remember Playboy Buddy Rose. Definitely remembered Roddy Piper. Movie number 9. It's Dracula versus the teens time when Charlie suspects that his new neighbor descends from Count Vlad's line. He calls in the host of the local late-night horror flick series to help de-ghoul the neighborhood. But they have a problem when the vampire discovers their plans, and nobody believes them anyway. Blank is properly seductive as the bloodsucker. Ooh, they like this one. The year is 1985. The cast is William Ragsdale, Roddy McDowall, and Chris Sarandon. Chris Sarandon is that properly seductive bloodsucker. And the director is Tom Holland. Tom Holland. And this movie is Fright Night. Fright Night. The fun fact that I have for you for Fright Night is that more than 10% of the film's budget was spent on these special effects. It was the first vampire film to spend more than $1 million on effects alone. So the budget was just over $9 million, like $9.5 million reportedly. And they spent $1 million on the effects alone. And there were some good effects in there. Some cool creature design and stuff. Lastly, number 10. Blank is a cable TV programmer with a secret yen for sex and violence which he satisfies by watching a pirated TV show. The show appears to show actual torture and murder and also seems to control the thoughts of its viewers, turning them into human VCRs. This director's usual sick fantasies are definitely love 'em or leave 'em. Special effects by Rick Baker, another movie with a special effects legend. The year is 1983. The cast is Sonia Smits, Deborah Harry, and James Woods. You should get this one, especially if you are a fan of David Cronenberg, the director of this film. David Cronenberg. This movie is Videodrome. Videodrome. It's a great one. If you can buy it used, like in a physical media store or at my eBay store. I don't have this movie available on there. I could. Well, anyway. That's better because James Woods is kind of a piece of garbage and you don't want to give him any money. The fun fact that I have for you for this final film, Videodrome, is that Cronenberg is somewhat famous for shooting intuitively, eschewing detailed storyboards for a more organic production process. His first draft of this film, originally titled Network of Blood, was very different from the final. It featured melting faces and a literal hand grenade, among other wild ideas. So that's it. Another 10 movies down for Tuesday Trivia from the Video Hounds Golden Movie Retriever. I really have fun with this format, these synopses, and guess the movie. Hopefully you do too. If you watch this far, I appreciate it a lot. If you want to like and subscribe, I would appreciate that too. But either way, you'll see me the next time I post. Thanks.